Welcome everyone. Wow, it's good to see you. It's really good to see you all. Online or in the yurt. It's good to have you. Yeah, I pray for many days before those sessions. I pray, and also now that that the talks will come out of the hearts and come into our hearts also. And this month, the Elul month, it's such a potent month, a month to set intentions, really, and it's a big transition. So first of all, one of the intentions for this class is Leilui Nishmat Poppy John. May his soul rise with this the energy that is created here, and may he rest in peace. And also, of course, you have room and space to dedicate this session also to someone, someone that you care for, someone that is alive or maybe no longer with us. So yes, this potent month, Elul, there is such a big build-up in it. And what we are asked to do is Heshbon Nefesh. Heshbon Nefesh translates into the math of the mind, or Nefesh. Nefesh, it's part of it is our mind. And how do you do Heshbon Nefesh? How do you calculate the mind and the thoughts? And a lot of it is kind of in the mainstream way is to think about, reflect about all the things, the good things and the bad and the good things that we've done along the year, and kind of reflect what worked for us, what didn't work for us, and how we would like to perhaps change things next year. Also, another way that we will do Heshbon Nefesh, that we will do math of the mathematics of our mind, is to really sit with the thoughts, really sit with the thoughts, and rather than take it into the center, kind of take the center into them. And we'll do both meditations, kind of working on it, and also some breath work. From this class, all of the things that I pass on, or not, the majority of it is really from the teaching from my rabbi, which his name is Rabbi Yaakov Rashevsky. And also I would like to invite his beautiful spirit to help us learn and help us really elevate ourselves. So we blow the shofar, as you know. We blow the shofar for 30 days. 40 days we set intentions until Yom Kippur, but for 30 days we blow the shofar. And there is a blessing that goes in the 18th, in the Tfilat Amidah, one of the most important prayers. It's kind of like some say it's the most sacred prayer in all prayers. It's done standing up and silently, only moving the words. The Kabbalistic sage took an hour to pray just that prayer. So I want to share with you one prayer. It's 18 blessings, and I would like to share with you just one of them, which I'll say it in Hebrew and then in English. תקע בשופר הגדול לחירותנו, ושא נס לקבץ גלותנו, וקבצנו מארבע כנפות הארץ לארצנו. So it translates into sound the great, and you know, the great shofar for our freedom, and gather us from all four corners of the land into our land, into our country. And in today's grounding meditation, this is what I'll invite us to do. I invite us to really kind of just spend some time with ourselves. And as we spoke about it, the shape of the shofar, it's one end, it's wide, and one end it's narrow. And it's like we project and expand, right? This is freedom. I'm going into freedom. I'm not restricted so much anymore. I have freedom. And also, so that this is blow the horn for our freedom, and also gather our exiles. And this is the shape of the horn, right? On one hand it expands, and on the other hand it kind of funnels straight here, straight to the center of the body, to the throat chakra, or in Judaism this is the da'at, the knowing, the balance point between the wisdom and intelligence. So yes, let's start with a grounding meditation with these intentions, to both expand into our freedom, into the freedom of our seed that wants to express itself, even though a seed doesn't know yet, that doesn't see yet that it will become a tree, or that it can become a tree. It contains all the information there. So kind of let ourselves express ourselves, expand into our potential, and also gather all the gifts, all the different parts within us that are exiles, that we don't like because we were taught they're not good enough, or something on those lines, or others. Okay, so let's find a comfortable position, sitting or laying. It would be about 7 minutes. And taking a moment to just make ourselves comfortable. Make ourselves comfortable, and maybe even a little bit restful. If we find some tension somewhere in the body, we can consciously soften it, let it be heavy, letting it be held and supported. And starting to connect with the breath. Notice how it is that you connect with your breath in this practice right now. Maybe you connect with it simply by looking at it, giving it attention. Maybe you connect to it by changing it. There is no right or wrong, good or bad, but just notice. How am I connecting to things, actively or passively? Changing things or letting them be? And now invite you to consciously start deepening the breath. And if it fits you to breathe with the sound of the breath, go ahead. And if not, that's fine as well. This is the inhalation and this is the exhalation. Just notice what comes up as you listen to the sound of the shofar. Allowing the experience to just be as you're looking at it. checking in with the body, noticing sensations. Checking in with the mind, just noticing the thoughts. Checking in with the heart. Noticing the emotions. And checking in with the one who is actually looking at the thoughts, the sensations, at the emotions. And maybe asking yourself, what's the mood or the state of the spirit right now? Slowly, slowly, when you feel ready, starting to come back in your own way. Mm. Would anyone like to share something from the experience? If so, just feel free to unmute yourself and share or ask or hey. So tonight we're going to talk a little bit about Parashat Kitavo. Dvarim, Moses, kind of summarizing all the rules, to the Israelites. And the 12 tribes are divided into two. 6 tribes are going and standing on one mountain, and 6 tribes are standing on another mountain. One mountain gets blessings, and one mountain gets curses. And they're all willingly going to get the curses and the blessings. That's really interesting, right? Like, why would you go and receive a curse, with intentions? I found it really, really, really intriguing. And what's really interesting is that in order to understand the secret of blessings, we need to understand the secret of curses, because they are closely related to each other. And in Hebrew, the word curse is klala. Klala comes from the same root of kilkul or mekulkal, which is broken. in the Kabbalah, one of the aspects that I am really resonating with is the concept of tikkun, the concept of I feel the pain, and the pain helps me to access something very deep, which is mekulkal, like broken. And when I feel it, I can access it. And when I access it, this is when I can start to transform it. Not exactly transforming it, but transforming from it. It's still there. And this is a transition. This is a transition. God is in the transitions. God is in between, in the gap between us, kind of the dark matter, right? No one knows really, no one can explain it, and that's, I don't know, more than 90% of everything in us. So in order to really do a transition in a way that doesn't really hurt, because if I'm on a curse, if let's say I have a really bad day and I feel frustrated and bitter and scared. For me, it's usually when I'm scared, it comes out as anger, because no, fear. I don't want to feel fear. I'm too vulnerable. Okay, I'll be angry. That's why I feel more empowered. If we are having let's say really tough day, and suddenly it's really pleasant, one might say, Baruch sheptaranu, lucky, we're over it, that's it, it's gone, never come back. And we're attaching to something new. And once we are attached to something new, as we know, it's just a matter of time until it will change into something else. So with the attachment comes suffering. Also, suffering comes from the aversion of, I don't like being angry, or I don't like being scared. So I'm just doing everything I can just not to think or to feel like that. This is aversion. So it's all very natural, very natural. But when we, very natural to be closed and reject an experience which is unpleasant, and want more of an experience which is pleasant. I have it with chocolate or with science fiction movies. But I think we spoke about it. This will, this desire, it does not necessarily come from my body. It comes from a different part, which not always agrees with other parts. So the idea of transitions is not to be very big, to actually minimize ourselves into a small dot. Just minimizing ourselves. I'm just there. I'm not much in this thought or in this experience, and I'm not in here. And in this parasha, there is a beautiful teaching about lev yashar ve'machshava yashara, straight heart and straight thought. And when we understand that I can be this and I can be that, but I always have a straight heart and straight mind, straight nefesh, straight מחשבה, straight thought, this is me able to transition between the left and the right in a much more lucid and free way, rather than combat it, rather than resist it. it's so natural, huh? It's so natural. There is day and there is night. There is hot and there is cold. There is right and there is left. And in a way, in our education, it was, no, you just be happy, just be productive, just don't be sad, don't be angry. So we learn to really kind of reject a few of the things. But with that, often what comes are thoughts which are often prisoning us. Just prisoning thoughts, such as, I am like this, or I never get it right, or I am so addicted. So the straight heart tapping into this strength, this deep, deep, deep strength of ours to tap this straight heart and straight thought, that gives us a sense of freedom and connection to God. Kind of a state of flow. Maybe you know this experience. Now, in order to tap this, part of it is to be released from those prisoning thoughts. How do I know it's a prisoning thought? I don't feel well with it. I feel like I am harsh with myself. I don't, like, if I reflect on it, I'm realizing, yeah, maybe I'm a bit harsh with myself. Maybe I'm really identifying with this thought, and this thought contribute to the emotion of fear, frustration, depression. Not necessarily sadness. Sadness, it's a tricky one, because sadness sometimes can be really, really, really such an opening emotion, or sometimes sadness can be just a rumination about how poor I am. And that's very, very different. Sadness of grief and sadness of yeah, kind of rumination with victimizing, thoughts that are minimizing me, thoughts that are restraining me to be this, this much, that thoughts that hints or say that I'm unable to do other things. So we really want to detach from them. The strings, they have strings, they have tentacles, that they're so, like, they're sticky thoughts. They come and it's hard to get rid of them. So one way to do it, one way to actually get rid of them or to untie us from them, is to not try to get rid of them, but to accept that there is this thought and it is just a thought. It is not a fact. It is just a thought. And I have this thought because this is what I know, this is what I was educated, maybe because how I feel right now, because I can see my reality from a key lock. I miss so much details. I cannot know the whole picture. So my mind make up all the rest. So really, if we sit and observe the thought, if we just look at the thought, we are no longer the thought, right? Now there is this thought, and there is someone who is looking at the thought. And that changes the whole story, changes the whole story. This is how I tap this strength of using a thought, using our consciousness, rather than it's a passive thing. I am actively being passive. So it's not something that kind of not necessarily just flowing with it. It's a decision. Okay, I'm just going to look at my thoughts, and I'm not going to be active with this thought and start to analyze it or justify it or deny it or judge it. I'm passive in it. I'm just looking at it, but I'm actively deciding to be passive and just observe. This is really, really, really difficult, really difficult. Also, this is the practice of praying. Sometimes the practice of praying is a practice of kavanah. I'm just staying focused. It's not so passive, but this is the power of focus. This is the awareness that we practice, both in breath work and in mindfulness. So this world of thoughts, that this straight thought in the Zohar, it is called cherut, which is freedom. And when we find our straight, our straight heart and mind, we become, in Hebrew, it's Ben Chorin, which is the son of freedom. So in a way, when I do that, I become like, it's this freedom, this straight heart and thought give birth to me. Give birth to me, and I'm born free. And I'm freeing myself. I'm freeing myself from those prisoning thoughts. So this is so deep and beautiful, and I'm so happy, that the Kabbalah is talking about it, and it's just so aligned with the concepts of mindfulness, really, and attachment and aversion. Yes. So when Jacob, there is a part in the Torah that Jacob he had lots of issues with Esav, with his brother, and one time, he ran away because Esav kind of threatened to kill him. And at some point later, it is said that Jacob had a fight, a struggle with an angel, and that angel gave him the name Israel. If you look at the name Israel, you can break it. It's two words. It's Yud Shin Reish, which is Yashar, and El, which is God. So it's basically straight God. Yashar, El, Israel. Same letters. It's exactly the same letters. One is Shin and one is Sin, but it's the same. It's just the dot is on the other side. So yeah, Lev Yashar, מחשבה ישרה in Israel. Jacob represent also the harmony, where Abraham represent compassion, and Isaac represent restrainment or boundaries. Jacob represent the balance point, which is in the middle, in the heart area. It goes up. Yashar El, straight to God. Jacob, the name Jacob, hints to splitting. The name Jacob hints to split. So like you take wood and we split it. We break it into two. And now there are two parts. And another way to look at it is that when we split something, we get to the center of it. We can look at it from inside. So the teaching here is that this struggle this struggle. I know for me, it is a struggle. At times it's like, it's such a fight, such a fight. The teaching is that this fight is really, really a part of it. This fight is a part of the curse. And you know, the curse is so connected to the blessing. In a way, without the curse, there wouldn't be a blessing. Just like the day and the night, just like the winter and the summer. And the idea is not to avoid one of them and to chase the other, but the idea is to be in a place where we can minimize ourselves, just minimize ourselves, take down all the shells, all identities. The identities are the prisoning thoughts. I am a breathwork facilitator, a trainer. Oh. Bullshit. Sorry. Sometimes I am, and sometimes I'm not. Rabbi Nachman was very good in that. Very, very good in that. He went with it so full-heartedly. He was a great sage, really great sage, great rabbi. So in tune, so connected, so much compassion, so much joy. And at times, his students came to him, and they came to him with a question. Hey, Rabbi, and he said, like, why are you talking? Why are you talking with me? Like, I have no idea. Said, Rabbi, come on, you're a rabbi. Of course you know. Of course, like, said, no, I don't. Don't go look for a different rabbi. He just went with it so, like, authentically, really, rather than hiding, you know, that I'm feeling in a certain way and this is not acceptable or appropriate or whatever. So really what we want is to get into a place where we can transition between the curse and the bless, and keep in our straight heart, in our straight mind. And I'd like to do a meditation that helps to balance that, to find our center.
Gilly,
Yes,
before you do that, can I make some observations or some thoughts?
sure.
There's a strong connection between Purim and Yom Kippur, and it's often referred to as Yom HaKippurim. And one of the main mitzvot on Purim is to get so drunk that you can't tell the difference between blessed is Mordechai and cursed is Haman. And I think what's coming up for me is that it fits in very much with what you've been saying about the blessings and the curse. And when we get drunk, we lose that filtering capacity, and we come to that center point that you've been talking about. Not that I'm suggesting that we should all go out and get drunk permanently or anything like that, but you know, I think that there is Purim, when we look at it, is really talking about exactly the sort of stuff you've been talking about tonight. And
Yeah.
as I said, there is this connection between Purim and Yom Kippur. So it was just something that had been running around, and I thought I should get in before you go into the meditation.
Thank you, Lawrence. Absolutely. So relevant. And
And
I
there's one last point. You were talking about thoughts, and in my book, Love Your Pain, it actually gives pictures of thoughts. So it's obviously something very external to us. And like you were saying, it's not us, but there is something that is outside us. Okay, I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you, Lawrence. Yeah, absolutely. And thank you again for the beautiful shofar blowing. The recording is Lawrence. Yes, thoughts have so much power, so much power. And in Lawrence's book, it's really illustrated beautifully how the shape of thoughts. And so Rabbi Baal Shem Tov, Israel Baal Shem Tov taught that if we are not aware, the reason why it's so important to be aware where our thoughts are is because we are where our thoughts are. If I'm totally with the thought, I'm there. I'm there. You know, if I'm sitting here in the earth, but what I'm thinking about is dinner at the house, I'm not really here, right? I'm half there. So without awareness, this amplifies. So in the meditation today, we'll start with a little bit breathing to find our center, and then we'll explore our thoughts. So there is a little bit breath work. In the beginning, maybe in the middle, we'll see how we go. And yeah, and mostly meditation. Any questions? Comments? Okay, so Purim. Yes, so Purim, Lawrence reference Purim is it's another Jewish holiday, which basically well, it's not just we get drunk, but like, yeah, there is an element in it to get so drunk until you cannot differentiate between the hero and the villain. Yeah. And Be'ezrat Hashem, amen, we'll do a Purim party here and have lots of arak in the yurt with some teachings. Today I told it to the nurses. Both. Yeah, both external and internal. Okay, so finding any comfortable position, sitting, laying. If you feel comfortable, you can close your eyes. If you prefer to keep them open, that's totally fine. We'll start with really just 5 minutes breathing together. And breathing together with the sound of the Tibetan bowls, when this is the sound of the inhalation, and this is the sound of the exhalation. So inhale, slowly, and exhale. Don't worry about breathing deep. Just more important is the smoothness and the rhythm. That's the exhalation. That's the inhalation. And exhale. And inhale. And as you breathe, I invite you to feel, imagine, or think of Lev Yashar and מחשבה ישרה. So really imagining or feeling or thinking this straight line from the head through the heart, all the way to the base of the spine. You inhale, the energy or the imagination goes up, and as you exhale, it comes down. Facing the breath. Humble breath, humble spirit, slow, smooth. I invite you to imagine how with every breath to the center, you're breathing the Avira Mechaye, the reviving air. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Just centering the attention on a line from the base of the spine to the solar plexus, to the center of the chest, center of the throat, center of the face, the way to the crown. Checking in the 4 levels experience. The levels of sensations. עולם העשייה. World of the doing. The level of emotions, feelings, mood. the world of formation, עולם היצירה. The world, the experience of the thoughts, the level of our mind. The world of creation, עולם הבריאה. Creation and healing in Hebrew comes from the same root. And it is highly connected to our thoughts. Gently, very gently, I invite you to block the left nostril and take a deep breath from the right nostril. And exhale from both. We'll do that 4 times. As you do it, I invite you to feel the left side of your body. Good. When you finish, breathing naturally from the left and the right nostril, becoming aware of the left and the right sides. Gently blocking the right side, the right nostril, and inhaling deeply from the left nostril. And the exhalation, breathing from both nostrils. And as you do that, I invite you to take the attention to your right side of the body. So you breathe from the left nostril, just noticing the right side. Just 4 times. When you finish, releasing the hand. Noticing the right side of the body. Noticing the left side of the body. Noticing the center, the heart area, the middle of the forehead, the top of the crown. invite you to breathe. Invite us to breathe from our heart. From the power of a straight thought, a thought that can observe the right side, observe the left side. And remain both centered and in those sides. We come back to the breath that is happening in the center. We feel the expansion and the contraction that seeds, starts in the center. We remember that we have this ability to be so small, like a little dot. Traveling easy between the two states. On this huge continuum. Always finding its Yashar El, its Israel. This divine part within us. Looking at the thoughts. Looking at the thoughts. Looking at the experience. The last world of experience is the world of emanation, עולם האצילות. Which is very connected to this center of ours. As you watch the experience, I invite you to ask yourself, who is watching it? Who is watching the sensations, the emotions, and the thoughts? Again and again, we connect to the breath. To the neshima, to the neshama, to the breath, to the soul. And observing התבוננות. Observing both with our intelligence and with our heart. And if only if it's right for you, this moment, I invite you to ask yourself, what is your preparation for the new year? What is it that you would like to become free from? What is it that you would like to gather? Who are your exiles that you would like to bring closer to you? Maybe friends, with our right and left. Go through the struggles with a straight heart and straight mind. ישר אל ישראל. And if you would like, we come closer to the end of this practice. We'd like to send your good intentions to someone or to some parts within you. Now might be a good time to do so. Taking a deep, slow breath in. Breathing out, letting go of this practice. Checking in with the self. How does the body and how does the mind, how does the spirit feel after the session? What am I taking from today, tonight's session? When you feel ready, slowly in your own time and way, coming back. I'll come back. Thank you. Thank you very much. Lovely to practice with you and to learn and to study with you. Really, I feel that I learn a lot as I prepare to those sessions, but also as what I've prepared is not what came out. What came out is, yeah, some is what I've prepared and some is not, and yeah, really, thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming and for hearing and sharing this special moment together. I'm just gonna stop the recording and we'll open the space for sharing or questions or comments.